Hi, this is the WayOut series. It is a collection of testimonies and revelations that can help you in your own healing journey. This is an online training on renewing your mind, inner healing, based on the way that's already behind me. This is not a few-step program. It is an encouragement and tools from someone on the way out to others on the way out. I believe that what meant a turning point for me will become yours as well. Have a great way out. Hi, this is the last exercise video. I'm gonna share a few exercises that hadn't been included in the normal parts. So as an extra 14th session, I would like to show you some little practice ideas that were not that had not been shared in the regular parts before, which have impacted my life a great deal. So I'm gonna show you at least two little exercises that have helped me a great deal in the last few years. I don't know where to start this. My latest experience of God is just simply enjoying my life. This is something I experience these days, and this experience of the presence of God hadn't been a part of my life for most of my years, so it's kind of a big deal for me and a new thing for me. And many times God talks about the presence, and not just like the importance of His presence, but my presence. Like, I am always there, He says. I am always present. My presence is a constant thing. The question is, where are you, Adam? Are you present? Are you there with me? I am there with you. And He gave me these little childlike games with the presence. Like, sometimes He just stops me when I'm walking and He says, okay, just for 3 seconds, just be present. And just don't pay attention anything related to the future nor the past. Just focus on what there is now. And I realized that most of the things we are afraid of and we worry about are related to past and future issues. So when you stop, like when you don't think about anything related to future and past, you realize that in the present, all you have is like your surroundings and joy and love and peace. So in the presence, there is fullness of joy, as David says. So every now and then I practice this, even when I'm very busy, just stopping for a few seconds and just enjoying what is there, that I am there, and this is it. There is nothing more I can talk about it because there is no happening to it. There is no to-do list to this. It's just you are. And this is it. You enjoy that you are, and you don't jump into any thought, and you don't take seriously any of your thoughts. regarding the past or future. It's very simple to the silence practice. Oh, actually, it's the same. And God was teaching me, like, my name is I am, and this is the description of my nature. I am not I was, and I am also not I will be. My name is I am. And when you are in the I am, you realize that I am everything. This is why I didn't have a name, because you can't add anything to the I am. I am whatever you say. I am everything. And every time you are in the I am, you are in me. Every time you don't go to the past or the future, you are in the presence. You are in me. You are in the I am. And I know there are a lot of like motivational speakers or gurus to talk about being present and the now, and rightly so. I think it's the most powerful thing, and I think they have a lot of understanding on that. And I don't want to reflect on them. All I want to talk about is what God taught me on that. And this is something that is deeply related to mental health issues. Actually, a lot of things can cause a mental health problem, but simply not being present and always fleeing from or to something can cause a mental health issue. And I think most of the world is in that. Like they want to get somewhere, or they want to avoid experience something. And both of those things are deceptions, because you are fleeing from something or to something. It's almost the same. You are still not present. You are still not in the now. And when I'm worried, I'm oversensitive, so I can worry a lot if I give space to that. And God just reminds me that, okay, just stop. When I'm really worried, stop and tell me, what is your problem now? And then I start to tell that maybe this will happen, and I don't know what that person thought about me when I behaved like that. And he says, no, this is not a present problem. This is something else. Tell me what is wrong now. And then I realized that actually nothing is wrong now. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. I still move. Everything is okay at the moment. And I want to say that there are things that are objectively bad. I don't want to say that, okay, everything is just okay. So if you, for example, live in an abusive relationship and you are physically abused every day, it's surely bad, and it's not just your perspective. You should move away from that place. But so there are things that are bad, period. But most of the problems we have are not objective problems. We just project them. And I'm the award winner projector. I have done it my whole life, basically. So there was some bullying taking place when I was in middle school. And I had this concept that everyone hates me and rejects me and hurts me. And when I went to high school, no one hurt me. Nothing traumatic happened to me. And still, this was the most terrible season of my life, because I was projecting my hurt all the time. And I experienced a lot of pain, without any reason. So there was no actual trauma happening. However, I experienced a lot of trauma. And there are some very smart guys like Joe Dispenza and some brain scientists who analyze these issues, that your body actually cannot distinguish between a real happening and an imagined happening. So if you think about and project a negative feeling and happening, your body thinks it is real and starts to produce chemicals based on that unreal happening, and starts to like produce things in your body that will cause you like sickness and things like that. It's the same with positive thoughts. Then your body thinks those positive things are happening to you and starts to produce the positive chemicals and starts to heal your body. So it works both ways. If you're interested, check out Joe Dispenza. He's not like a Christian in that sense, but he's a scientist who very much understands how spirituality and science and all that and thinking works together, and how much they are like intertwined. So if you are interested, check it out. I learned so much from him, so I really love and appreciate him. What I wanted to say is that if you have a problem, you should just stop for a minute and recognize whether it is something that is related to past or future, because maybe if they are not real problems. For example, when my grandma worries when I go abroad, she thinks like I will be kidnapped and I will have a plane crash or things like that. These are not real issues. They are not happening at the moment. However, she still experiences the pain of those happenings. And this is a double trouble. It's just, for example, let's assume that those terrible things happen. For example, I'm worried that I will break my leg when I go on a trip. If I don't break my leg, I still experienced the worry and the trauma of it just by thinking about it, and my body started to produce the chemicals based on my thinking. So my body actually experienced something stressful and traumatic, absolutely unnecessarily. Let's take I actually go on a trip and break my leg. Chances are very low, but let's take it happens. Then I made an even worse case because I experienced the trauma 2 times. Once for real and once for my imagination. So it would have been enough to experience it once when it actually happened. So when we worry, we are never right, even if we are right. We cause our body unnecessary pain and suffering and chemical imbalance. So it does affect our whole system if we think. If we are in the fleeing mode, if we are not in the present. For example, Adam and Eve was walking in the garden, were walking in the garden, they weren't projecting anything from the past. They didn't have any, nor in the future. They didn't know that they could think about future. They just had their time of their lives. They had the banana hanging on the trees. They had the nice breeze. They are walking, enjoying life. And when they have fallen, they started to flee. They started to think about God as someone who would punish them or kill them, and started to like hide away. They started to have problems they didn't actually have. Like, was God killing them? Of course not. But that's what they projected in their brain, so they had to flee. And this is what we do every day. Like, we think we have a problem, we think we had a problem, and we are fleeing as a reaction to that. And the whole world does that. And because it is socially acceptable, we don't name it a mental illness, but actually the whole world suffers from the mental illness called not present. They are like, everyone projects their happiness to some future event, like when I have a spouse, when I have my own flat, when I have a great career, then I will be happy. And we are so silly. We just let go of our joy in the present for some past or future issue that might not even be real. Yes. So we're gonna practice a little bit of presence now. Just for a few seconds. Close your eyes. And no matter what thought comes into your mind that is related to past or future, don't let it in. Or if you let it in, don't take it seriously. Like, don't give it too much attention. Just only entertain thoughts that are 100% about now. You can worry and self-sabotage all you want, just for the sake of the game. Stop doing that for a few minutes. And just ask yourself the question, what is my problem now? When the thought jumps up, just check if it is related to anything but this moment. And if it is something we won't pay attention to. Do I have a problem now at all? everything that can make me worry is either related to the past or the future. Everything is okay in the present. There is fullness of joy in the presence. Perfect peace. Nothing to manipulate. We recognize that we don't have the problems we think we have. So now we see what there isn't. So we can take a look into what there is. What is there in the presence? Your breathing, the air filling your lungs, the trees behind the window, maybe, the chair, your legs touching what's under it, your hands, just feel your fingers, feel your clothes, feel the air in the room, feel the temperature. Realize what there is. Probably they are very simple things. And just enjoy them. Presence is very simple, very easy. It just is. You have your body, you have your organs, you have your heartbeat. You can still hear the noises. You are here. God is also here. He has always been here, but now even you are here. No fleeing anywhere. And there is this second where there is no problem, just existing. And another second, and another second of now, and another now, and another now, where you don't have any responsibilities, just enjoying life. And another now, and another. And actually you could live your life like that. The forever now land. It would be so simple. I talk myself out of this now many times, don't worry. But every time I come back to this now, I realize how pointless and unreasonable the fleeing from now is. And how easy it is to go back there, go back to this presence. Actually, it is so simple. Our default mode is this presence, this freedom, this joy, and we make such hard efforts to talk ourselves out of this. Fleeing takes a lot of power, a lot of effort, and we don't spare those. And it takes a little bit of effort to change the direction of a ship. Like way much more effort than just letting it go the way it wants to go. So first, when you try to be present, maybe everything in you shouts against it, just as I said in the silent practice. But this effort of changing the direction is worth it, because then you realize that it is way much easier than it was back then, going the other way, destroying yourself and self-sabotaging. So actually, when you take the effort of turning the ship of your thinking and attitude around, then you realize that it's way much easier to go like that. And it was so much effort to self-sabotage all the time and project and flee. The other little practice I want to tell you is the practice of simple gratitude. If you are like very depressed, you can't even relate to what I'm saying. I have been so depressed that the WayOut series wouldn't help me at all. I would have been even offended, like, why are you talking about gratefulness? Everything is terrible in my life. So I know I've been there when you can't relate to most of the advice you are given. What I want to say is that it's good to start with something. And some therapists say that having a diary where you write 5 things you are grateful about every day can shift your brain into like having like positive thoughts as well, and helps your mind to be turned the other direction. Even if you don't feel the gratitude, even if you don't feel like it, when you are like that much not in touch with your true self, with the joy, with the presence, it's good to like force yourself a little bit to the freedom, force yourself to the positive, and writing down things you are grateful for can help you a great deal. And yes, it's such a great thing to recognize the things you take for granted. Unfortunately, when I was depressed, I haven't practiced gratitude at all. Now that I'm feeling quite well, now I realize the power of gratitude. I don't write those things down, but every time when I'm about to fall asleep, I think about all the things that was successful that day and all the things that turned out to be better than I expected. And I just think about those things, and it makes me feel good. It is really the gateway to the temple, to the presence. Gratitude is really the entrance of the presence. So when I think about like, oh, God helped me to do this, and this happened, and this was good, and this turned out to be way better than expected, then all of a sudden I feel joy, I feel close to God, I feel I am who I should be. And there are days when I feel like, oh, it was just an okay day, like things happened quite okay, never mind. And then I start to think about how many things there were that were successful and or that were joyful. I realized that this was actually a quite exceptionally good day. There were a lot of great happenings there. But I don't come to this conclusion before I was thinking about the things I should be grateful for. So I don't have like a certain method for that, but actually you can do it in any way. Like sitting on the tram, looking out of the window, you just think about a few things you can be grateful for. And it's quite easy. Or when you are worried, you can stop yourself like, what are my problems now? Actually, I don't have any problems. All of them are projected. Actually, I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. I still have my arms and legs. The sun is still shining. And you can turn your thinking around with that. So just practice it for just a minute. Just feel the things you are grateful for. Just think about them. You had food today. You are still breathing. You have a room where you sit. You have a chair. God has provided the things for your life today. No one has killed you. There was someone who smiled at you. And just all the simple things. And actually, those simple things are quite meaningful. So sometimes we refuse to be in the presence because we want to analyze the past conversation. And you having legs and functioning lungs have way much more importance than those past conversation. Still, many times we give way much more credit to those less important things, and we allow those meaningless things to rob our joy in the present. So we think about like where I'm gonna live 2 years from now, and actually I have everything I need to be alive right now, and this is a big deal. And you know, this future thing has like zero importance at this moment. I still allow to take my present moment and present joy, and it is such a nonsense, and we do that every day. So we live in this constant projecting future and past things, and we freely give up on the presence of joy, or the joy of the presence. Practicing the presence is the easiest thing. This is the God in you. This is when you realize the constant presence of God with you, and this is when you become present. And you being present and God being present is actually the same thing. Yeah. So I would advise you to like practice the presence, practice gratitude the most you can, maybe just for a few seconds, or before you fall asleep, or when you feel like you're very overwhelmed, just stop for a few seconds. And when you are like very down and you can't even like have a healthy thought, just write down things that you are grateful for. And if you can feel the gratitude, it starts some good biological response in your body, and in every other way as well. But if you cannot feel the gratitude, just think about those things. Even that provokes some change in your way of thinking. Yes, so these are two little practices that I only do like in the last few years, because before that I had no understanding of these things. But actually you can do those if you are like very much in the beginning of your healing journey and you are very much overwhelmed with the depressed perspective. Yes, so it is such a joy to realize that I don't need to go anywhere. Like every time I feel like I need to think about the past, I need to solve this issue in the future and make sure I manage everything, I can stop myself. Like this, in the presence there is joy and there is peace, and I'm gonna just be in the now for a second. I won't pay attention to these other thoughts. If they want to be there, let them be there. I just won't jump on the train of them and go with them, and I would just enjoy that actually I am fine in the moment. And the whole world can like teach you that you must flee all the time, because that's how life it is. It is a lie. They always project their happiness in the future, and they always analyze things from the past, and they call this life. And I also do that. It's not just like them and me. I catch myself doing that all the time. But every time I forget to do this fleeing game, I realize how much joy there is in the presence of God and in my presence, which are the same. I am thankful for you being part of the WayOut series. I really wait for your testimonies, and I'm excited for what God is doing in your life. If you want, you can send me your testimony in a short video or in a text to my email address or to this link in the description below. I really love you guys, and maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna do some other mental health videos or teachings later, but this is not going to be my main focus. I'm still gonna have my channel about intimacy with God and the gospel and things like that. But if I feel like I have some new revelations on mental health issues, I'm gonna still produce that kind of videos. This is something like the end of a season, a very hard and intense season of my healing journey. And it was like a reflection for me to do that. Like, I'm gonna end this phase with the WayOut series, and I'm gonna share my experiences. And I also draw a line that in the sand that this season is over. And I don't say that I won't talk about mental health issues anymore, but my main focus won't be that. So the reason behind WayOut series is not to start a coaching or counseling ministry. I'm gonna still be a teacher on the intimacy, and an artist, and a missionary, with a little bit of teaching on mental health issues if I have new revelations. So it won't be the main focus of my ministry, but if I have any new revelations, I'm gonna share it. That is why I made this WayOut series, because I knew that there will be some people who would have their turning points through these revelations, and who would spare so much roundabouts and dead-end streets because of these videos. So I thought I owe you these understandings, and I'm also happy to announce the end of this hard and intensive healing season of my life, and start something new. I know that what God has done for me, He's doing the same for you, or something way more special, of course. He will tailor-made His healing for you, and I know it's happening, and I'm happy for it. So have a great WayOut. I love you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was a blessing for you. This course is completely free of charge. However, the production and editing has a cost, and I wanted to produce this series in the best possible quality and make it available to everyone absolutely free on YouTube. So if you feel led to, please contribute with any amount to the production costs. All the donation options and the payment methods are available in the description.